Shalom, Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakar Kodash. Double honor goes to the head apostles and elders at Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Sincere Shalom goes to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. Lord's will, Abaratazah, this will be an edifying lesson to you sincere men and a few sincere sisters. Now in this lesson, I want to touch on the history going back to the Garden of Eden, which Eden in the Paleo-Hebrew means Adon. Adon meaning paradise and joy, which the whole earth is Eden. Even with this devil Esau ruling the planet Earth, there's still certain parts that are paradise, certain parts that still look very beautiful. All right? Now, during this time, you had the serpent that beguiled Eve. And because of that decree, because of that action, enmity was put between the serpent seed and the woman seed. So I want to touch on that history. And then I want to touch on coming prophecies, race wars between the serpent seed and the woman seed. Because this is all in a confederacy to the serpent having a short time ruling the planet Earth. Okay? Now, some people may not know who this serpent may be. Brothers in the know, I'm pretty sure you do. Let's go to Genesis chapter 3, verse 14. And the Lord Yahweh power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, said unto the serpent, which this serpent was an actual snake. Okay, that mythology coming from the Christianity church, the Roman Catholic Church. This serpent here was a man. Okay, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee, the serpent, and the woman, and between the seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Now, case in point, who is this serpent? It was a man. Now the spirit that dwelt within this serpent, it was reincarnated in Cain. And the spirit that dwelt in Cain dwells in Esau. And Esau is the father of the Edomites, which today are the so-called white European Jewish people. Case in point. Now when we deal with this woman is symbolic to Israel. Let's grab Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 2. It says, I have likened the daughter of Zion, which is Israel, to a comely and delicate woman. Okay? So, Israel today is the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. Now, I was inspired to do this lesson from an article here. Before we jump to the prophecies and the confederacy of this serpent having a short time ruling the planet Earth, let's read a little bit of this. It says, woman who hit Hispanic black children, which are the Israelites, contrary to popular belief, with Jeep, pleads guilty to hate crimes, attempted murder. Now the key word here is hate. Okay? Now when we go back to Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, it says, and I will put enmity. Let's get the definition of enmity. It says enmity, hatred, hostility, enmity, hatred, So some people may believe that the hatred between the blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, which are the Israelites, and the so-called white European Jewish people, which are the Edomites, began here in America with the slavery, police brutality, injustice. But that's not a fact. That hatred goes back to the Garden of Eden, okay? And now the serpent, Esau Edom, he has a short time ruling the planet Earth. And his main focus is the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. Okay, why? Because we're the Israelites, and he is our enemy. Now let's jump to Revelations 12, verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe," which means death and destruction, "to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." Now there's two devils. The spiritual devil, okay, that sits on the left-hand side of the Heavenly Father Yahweh. And then you have the physical devil, which is Esau, the father of the Edomites, the predominantly so-called white European Jewish people. And there is plenty of history to prove that they are the devil. Now, let's continue on. It says, "Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." Short time doing what? Ruling the planet Earth, being in power since the reign of Alexander the Great. Now, we're here in America, Babylon the Great, through captivity, and this enemy oppressor has been over us. Okay, the serpent having that hatred going back to the Garden of Eden. Now this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 10, saying, "Behold, look, my people, the Israelites," okay, Ezra was an Israelite, "is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt." Now, case in point here, this is not speaking about Egypt during the time of Pharaoh, because Ezra came after the rulership of the Egyptians. Okay? So this is speaking about America, which is Babylon the Great, spiritual Egypt, as it is written in Revelations 11, verse 8. It says, "And their dead bodies," speaking about the Israelite bodies, spiritually, mentally, "shall lie in the street of the great city," which is America, Babylon the Great, which spiritually is called Sodom in Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified, meaning his image, his trueness of who he is, not a so-called white European Jewish man. Okay? And now, going back to 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 10 says, "Behold," meaning look, "my people was led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt." Now, as we scroll down, it speaks about the coming prophecy here in America, Babylon the Great. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, 15. "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." So here in America, Babylon the Great, you have this BML, Black Lives Matter, black culture. It has spotlight right now, it's booming due to the police brutality on the so-called blacks. Now, case in point, you have Mr. Joe Biden, okay, ruling right now. And the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans are the reason that he's in the seat. But when you dig a little deep, nobody votes matter. The president is already chosen before your vote, okay? So now, since America is losing its freedom, with Joe Biden being in the seat, pushing out these stimulus checks, killing the economy, okay, taking away their guns, which is a part of Esau's Edom blessing, his sword. This is going to put the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, which are the Israelites, and the so-called whites, Americans over here, which are the Edomites in America, neck and neck, drawing swords at each other. Because, again, who is the face again Joe Biden in the office? The so-called blacks, Latinos, and the Native Americans, which are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. But see, case in point, again, the vote don't matter. He was already chosen before they went to those polls. But see, digging a little bit deeper, this is Amalek, which is a popular, powerful tribe of the Edomites, which are the so-called Jews, okay, and the banker families today that know we're the Israelites, okay, and that is pushing everything on us via BML, black culture, rap music, abortion clinics, and now at the end, we're the reason why America is going to collapse. Everything is going to be blamed on us. So this is that race war that's going to rise here in America. And again, this hatred comes from the Garden of Eden, Adon. And this is all in confederacy to this serpent, which is Esau, Edom, have a short time ruling the planet Earth. Let's go to it again. Revelations 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Case in point. So Lord's will, this lesson was edifying to you sincere men and a few sincere women. Shalom.